For us, there wasn't a hatred of the Mets. They were just, how we looked at it was just the Mets.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. With me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian, happy Monday.
Stacey, happy Monday. The Mets are just the Mets, as usual.
Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. We're like 1 or 2 people away from 8,800 subscribers on YouTube, so that's pretty cool. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified when our videos go live. On today's show, we're previewing the series pitching matchups with the Rangers because Monday is an off day. The series starts on Tuesday, and I have a little bit of a rant about the Yankees schedule for the next couple of weeks. We'll talk about that in segment 3. It's Minors Monday. We have some interesting things to tell you about. But first, the Yankees take part 1 of the Subway Series. As you all know, it's 3-3, and they took 2 out of 3 this weekend, and they look pretty solid.
Yeah, they played well, pitched well. Bullpen looked really good. Offense came through when the offense needed to come through. It's funny because game 3 played out exactly like the Mets want to play a baseball game, right? Low scoring, good pitching, and, they tried. It was 2-2 late in the game. You thought, the Mets could – you were mentioning on your short that the Mets – this is exactly what they want to do, and this is exactly how this game's going to turn out, and it didn't turn out that way. Yankee offense came through in a really big point in that game, and I was a little nervous going into Sunday's game too, because with the lower scoring nature of the first 2 games and the high-end bullpen relievers being used in the first 2 games, I thought the Yankees were kind of in a bad spot going into game 3. It's so weird, Stacey, but every Max Fried start that he keeps going on, I feel like we're due for the bummer start at some point. We're due for him.
But it doesn't really happen.
They don't lose when he plays, when he pitches. They don't lose. So, yeah, I was, I said yesterday, I was expecting Max Fried to have that letdown spot yesterday, and it felt like it, right? Bullpen was a little down. They didn't have the options they were going to want to have out of the bullpen. But I mean, late in the game, one of the Yankees' better hitters in the last few weeks, Cody Bellinger, comes through huge.
Yeah, speaking of Fried, 6 innings, 3 hits. Those were the only hits the Mets got all game, by the way, because the bullpen shut them down. 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, made Juan Soto look silly couple times. Just unbelievable performance from Fried. But is it unbelievable at this point? I mean, he's clearly the Yankees' ace this season. He's really stepped it up when they needed him. And it's kind of interesting to think about what this rotation would look like if Gerrit Cole were healthy and you had Gerrit Cole and Max Fried back to back. Because how much better could the Yankees be if they had the 2 of them in the rotation? A healthy Gerrit Cole.
If you notice in the stream, I just looked off to the side when you were saying that, because that's exactly what went through my head. Is what if? It's just a giant what if. If they had Gerrit Cole this season, you had Max Fried behind Gerrit Cole in that spot, coupled with, not gonna lie, Carlos Rodon as a 3 is an awesome 3. So if you were, it makes you think that it's the greatest what if, and maybe we'll see it next year, sure, but you don't know. There's no guarantees in sports, so like that is kind of aggravating, but. I said this, I was on a really cool, I guess, career moment for me. Yesterday, I did an interview on VSiN, the Vegas Sports Information Network that Brent Musburger started years ago. And they actually asked me this exact question about Max Fried being so great and how is this happening and everything like that. And I was like, what's funny is the expectation coming into the season is when Gerrit Cole got hurt, we were all like, oh no, season over. How are they going to win? And then they come into the year playing this way, and Max Fried pitching as well as he pitches. We're like, no, they should win the American League again. They're right back in conversation. Like, they should go acquire somebody. They have an ace. This is exactly like if they didn't sign Max Fried at all, and they just went into the season with Gerrit Cole. This is what you'd expect out of Gerrit Cole, is it not? So what should stop them from going out there and winning the American League again? Nothing. So again, and if you look at, this is what this Mets series to me is a microcosm of how they should be able to play. And it shows how good of a team they are, Stacey. They can win the low scoring game, the low scoring bullpen battle, they can win. The high-scoring 10-run game, they can win. That is huge. They can play and beat anybody at their own game. And if you look across all of sports, any team that wins a championship, any team that's able to dominate throughout an entire season can not only make you play their way, but can also beat you at your own style of play. And that's a huge, huge advantage the Yankees have had this year so far.
The interesting thing to me was, Saturday played out in a way that you didn't want it to see play out. The Yankees go down 3-2. They had chances in both the 8th and 9th innings, couldn't do anything. And Sunday looked to be the same because it was tied 2-2. And these games were so interesting because all the scores ended in 2. 6-2 on Friday, 3-2 on Saturday, 8-2 on Sunday. So the teams play similar games to one another because the Mets have really great pitching. We saw it all weekend. Kudos to those guys who some of them I never really heard of, and they were pitching really well. So good for them. And then the 8th inning starts innocently with a Jason Dominguez walk and ends with Cody Bellinger's grand slam. And I know people, especially Mets fans and managers and players, love to complain about how short the porch is in right field. But as I've been saying for the past 16 years, they don't move the fences back for you guys. You can hit the ball there too.
And two guys that really need to be mentioned that really haven't gotten their kudos enough because there's a guy hitting 400 in the lineup. There's other guys that are impressing. Cody Bellinger, who we'll get to in a second, and Jason Dominguez. For a guy that when he came into the league, it was all about the power, all about the home run stroke. You'd expect in his rookie year pretty much to be all about trying to hit the home run ball. And he has not been that way at all. He takes what he's given at the plate. He walks a lot. He's a terrific base runner. And now he's getting the bat going more. And I said this in the last episode, and I think you kind of agreed, which is true. The home runs will come with him. The power is natural. It's there. Once he starts having better at-bats and seeing better pitches, the home runs are going to be there. I'm unbelievably impressed with the player that he's been, and it's been very quiet with how good he's been just because of the fact that there's so many other guys doing things in the lineup. He's not the center of attention.
Yeah, speaking of that, Paul Goldschmidt getting that single up in the zone, a hard pitch for someone who looked cooked last season when the season started. He is starting this season off in the opposite way, where he's not slowing down yet. We're past mid-May. We're almost into late May, and he hasn't slowed down. Now, slowed down, that's not a word. He hasn't slowed down, I guess.
Slowed down, I guess is the way you would say it.
Slowed down. What? It's Monday. It's Monday. Quickly, Devin Williams looking solid again. I really think the eighth inning might be the spot for him, even though he was, I feel like for now.
We'll see. It's a long season, so you don't know what's going to happen throughout the year. So I don't want to cast any aspersions on where he'll be pitching come October, but for right now, I think you're right. The 8th inning is the spot for him.
Okay, so Friday night, quickly, Soto's return, lots of funny things happening. I have to say, all three things made me laugh. The fact that the bleacher creatures turned their back on him, the chants going on, and what's the third thing that happened? Oh, him tipping his cap. That was his helmet, doffing his helmet to the crowd when they were booing him. I just thought that was hilarious. I also, thankfully, he didn't have a big series. That's what I was worried about. I'm shocked that
Rodon didn't. I'm shocked that Rodon didn't like cruise one to him in the first at bat. I was convinced Soto was going to park one in the bleachers as soon as they were cursing.
Rodon nor Schmidt did that because Rodon 5 innings. It wasn't a great outing, but 5 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. But his ERA is now 3.17 on the season.
Yeah.
And then Schmidt, quality start on Saturday, other than the 5 walks, but he got himself out of it because that could have been absolutely horrendous. It would have been a disaster. So he ended up only giving up the 2 runs in 6 innings. So he had the 5 walks, but he also had 5 strikeouts. So looking pretty solid. And interestingly enough, in that game, the Yankees actually out-hit the Mets. The Yankees had 8 hits, the Mets had 6, but the Mets had the hits when it mattered on Saturday and ended up winning that game 3-2. But overall, like we said at the top, really solid, sort of surprising series. I'm surprised the series went the way it did.
The Soto stuff was not as big of a deal as it was portrayed to be before the series started. I don't think it played out nearly as dramatic as everyone thought it was going to be once the series started. I do find this funny, though, and this will be the last antidote we put on the whole thing. The Met fans out there publicly that are complaining about Soto's lack of motivation and he looks lazy out there, that's who he is as a player. Right. he has that Robinson Cano kind of attitude to him where he's really, really, really good, but it doesn't look like he's trying 1,000% when he's out there. I wouldn't be that concerned, especially Soto's gotten off to kind of a lackluster start for his standards with the Mets so far, but
any other guy would be happy with that start.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Like the people that are freaking out, like he's going to be absolutely fine. I'm not saying this as the spoiled Yankee fan, but there is a difference in where he's hitting in a lineup now as opposed to hitting with Aaron Judge right behind him. There is a difference in that, and he's clearly feeling it. But he's still going to finish the year with 20-plus homers, 80-plus RBIs. He's going to have a 400 on-base percentage. He'll be fine. I don't think the lackluster attitude. He wasn't supposed to go 4 for 4 in the first game with 4 home runs. That's not what he is.
Right. I will say he made 2 incredible catches on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
That one running catch to, what was it, like right center. And then the other one, even coming in, there was, I think it was the same inning. There were 2 catches back to back that he made. One he was coming in and one he ran after. And after watching Soto in the field last year, I was actually shocked that he made those 2 plays. But I feel like he was kind of, he was pumped up being in the Yankee Stadium, maybe.
Yeah, for some reason, he's very comfortable in that right field. I don't know why.
Interesting how that happens, huh? All right, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in our description. You get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings, reactions to the games. Got a lot of happy messages on Sunday night after the Yankees pulled out the win. We send out the lineups during the season, roster moves, breaking news, so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, it's a packed Miners Monday next.
Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? We'll crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller for longer. There's a variety of great flavors, including the jalapeno lime, dill pickle, chili roasted, and smoky barbecue. You can also get those lightly salted or unsalted if your taste buds aren't quite ready for those bold flavors as of yet. Now, personally, I'm a no-shells variety kind of guy. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for those busy days. And whether I'm snacking at my desk, on a road trip, or just need a quick protein boost, they're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are also a classic favorite. And whether you're running down between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works as hard as you do. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. So, Stacey, a lot going on with the Yankees minor league system, a lot of news to unfold, and there's a guy who there are no reports on for whatever reason. We'll get into it all. It's your segment.
Yes. So looking at Scranton first, catcher Jesús Rodríguez has a 9-game hitting streak. That includes 5 multi-hit games, 4 consecutive of those, and his batting line in 117 plate appearances is .385, .479, .510. So he's not hitting for power, but he's hitting a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, the major league level has no room for catcher right now for him to come up and play. But who knows? A lot of room, a lot of trade pieces out there.
He also plays third base. And we'll talk about that when we get to Somerset. Another bright spot for Scranton, first baseman TJ Rumfield. He's batting .305, .404, .519 in 156 plate appearances. That works out to 10 doubles, 6 home runs. He's batted in 27 runs. He scored 29 times, and he's 3 for 4 in stolen bases. And speaking of that, this I find kind of strange. Everson Pereira was 21 for 28 stealing bases in 102 games in 2022. But since then, he's only 20 for 24 in 150 games. It seems like he's stopped.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, it's got to be something analytical, I would guess. They're not loving his jump times and stuff, but
yeah,
don't love that.
Yeah, that's not great. Cookie Carrasco had a bit of a rough start on Sunday. Not start, appearance on Sunday, gave up 5 runs, but that's but just so you know, Cookie Carrasco is with the Scranton Rail Riders. No one picked him up. Not that that's shocking. Moving on to Somerset.
Line right here. This is a great line right here. Needs to be said. Go ahead.
Okay, so over the weekend, people were having a bit of a hissy fit because, you know, with Oswaldo Cabrera hurt, you're seeing more of Oswald Peraza at third because DJ LeMahieu is playing second in place of Jazz Chisholm because DJ LeMahieu was primarily playing second in his rehab assignment. So, of course, you had some people who were calling for George Lombard Jr. to be called up, in which I said, you guys need to pump the brakes on George Lombard Jr. He's only in Double-A. And since his promotion from Hudson Valley to Somerset, he's hitting 182, 378, which is a bad, 182 in 45 plate appearances. Very small sample size, but he's not ready for the majors. So everyone needs to calm down. He's not even close. But it's interesting to note in the past 2 games where he hasn't done this before, they're having him play third base.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, especially if they're trying to develop him for third base. And they haven't shown a tendency to not call guys up early on. If he's ready to get called up, they'll call him up. But this expectation that he needs to be at the major league level already, this kid should still be in college. We do all realize that, right? Like, he should not be anywhere near the major league level right now.
He's turning 20 in 2 weeks.
Exactly. Like, he should have just finished up his high school prom. So, like, he should not be at a major league level at this point yet. The fact that he's in Double-A is impressive enough to begin with. Let him hit, let him figure things out, let him get a little comfortable where he's at, because it's not fair to him to have these lofty expectations immediately as soon as he's impressed a little bit at the low A ball level. Let's calm down. Let's give it time. Perfectly said on your part.
Yep. Rafael Flores keeps hitting home runs. He's now tied with teammate Spencer Jones for the Eastern League lead with 9. Speaking of Spencer Jones, where the heck is he? There's nothing about him. If you go to Google, do this, everyone. Go to Google, type in Spencer Jones. You won't see any updates on him. It's like he disappeared. I have no idea where he went.
Makes me think the injury might be worse than it actually is, to be honest.
Yeah, whatever the injury is. What was it? Do we even know what it was?
Intercostal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So at least we found that out. Okay. Back to Flores. He's batting 304, 354, 554 in 161 plate appearances so far in 2025. Oh, and Scott Effross is rehabbing with Somerset, looking a little iffy so far. He pitched an inning on Saturday, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits with 2 strikeouts. Okay. Moving on, Hudson Valley. Bryce Cunningham. He's going to be the guy that we talk about all the time because he's doing really well. He's now 5-1 on the season after a Hudson Valley win on Sunday. He pitched 5 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He did give up 2 home runs, but he's 5-1 on the season. And for the season, his ERA is 2.14 in 42 innings pitched. He's given up 32 hits, 12 runs, 10 of them earned, 44 Ks to 10 walks.
Really good. Like, unbelievable K ratio too. That's unbelievably impressive.
JT Brubaker, who was acquired from Pittsburgh last season for prospect Kiner Delgado, is doing his rehab assignment with Hudson Valley. He threw 3 scoreless 1-hit innings on Sunday. He only threw 16.2 innings last season thanks to injuries, and this is basically his only route because he's doing a major league assignment. So if he goes anywhere, he's going to have to come up to the Yankees.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. And then Tampa walked it off on Sunday. They brought their record up to 19-20. Right fielder Austin Green, who I will be referring to from now on as Brian Austin Green because I'm Gen X and have to because of 90210. He has a 5-game hitting streak. Shortstop Owen Cobb has a 6-game hitting streak and 8 multi-hit games in 14 games. And center fielder Marshall Toole has a 7-game hitting streak, and he's hitting 326, 398, 447 in 98 plate appearances. And I just have to say, all 3 of those names are fantastic.
Yeah, Marshall Toole is an interesting name. I like Owen Cobb a lot, but Marshall Toole is like a out of nowhere kind of name.
Go to Tampa's roster. Everyone, I'm telling you all, go to Tampa's roster and look at the names because there are a few guys down there who have really cool names. Now, there's one guy. I'm not sure if his name is Ed Glean or Edgeleen. I don't know how they pronounce it. I need to know because if it's Ed Glean, it's not as cool, but if it's Edgeleen, that's a cool first name. Cool. Yeah. So that is your Minors Monday update. We don't have time for the Complex League, but nothing really happened down there. So we'll update you on those kids next week. All right. Coming up, we're going to preview the pitching matchups with the Rangers in their series, which starts tomorrow next.
The NBA playoffs are in full swing. Every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum swifts, and can't miss moments. And whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, There's never been a better time to get in on the action. Guys, the Knicks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals to play the Pacers. They're a favorite in that series, and they're the second highest favorite on FanDuel to win the NBA championship. I can't believe I'm saying that. First time since 1973 they could have a chance at winning the NBA title. It would be unbelievable. Back behind all their great players, you can take them in props, take them wherever you want. All of it is available on FanDuel, and FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before the tip-off and live. There's player props, playoff performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and to win big. And are you new to FanDuel? It's the perfect time to sign up. Listen to this offer. You can head over to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. Now, if that bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Can't think of a better offer than that. Make every moment more with FanDuel. It's an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Stacey, some scheduling concerns for their series against the Texas Rangers. Now, I will say this. I think this series could show you a lot, as much as a mid-May series can show you. But Texas is a team that scares me moving forward. I know Detroit's played well. I may sound like a jackwagon saying this, but I mean it wholeheartedly. I don't care what any American League Central team does until they can prove that they can beat and get the Yankees in a big spot. I just don't. I'm sorry. Specifically the Minnesota Twins, who have played well of late. But Texas, with their pitching staff and their ability to score runs, that's a team that really does scare me moving forward, especially while Jacob deGrom heats up more and more and more. This could be a really, really scary team to look forward to. And the Yankees play them this week in the Bronx.
Yeah, starting Tuesday. For some reason, the Yankees have an off day during their homestand. It's really because Texas is coming in from Texas. I understand. But if you look at the schedule for the next 2 weeks, it's just baffling to me that
Weird.
The Yankees play against Texas Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday's game is 12:35, so the Yankees can fly out to Colorado because they're playing Colorado Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then they're playing Anaheim Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but they have an off day on Thursday, and then they go all the way from Anaheim to Dodger Stadium. Now, I know I've been out there. The freeways are abysmal, but it doesn't take a day to get from Anaheim to Los Angeles.
They're probably going to stay at the same hotel. They're probably not going to leave. They're probably going to stay at the same hotel in downtown Los Angeles. Like
it's probably, I'm assuming it's because the Dodgers will be on the road for the next few games and they need their travel day to come back.
Yeah, we have to cater to the Dodgers too.
But you have to, hey, they won the World Series. So yeah, but it's not bad for the Yankees because they have an off day in LA and they could do whatever they want. So that's actually kind of cool for them. But for us, it's annoying.
Well,
it's all about us. Hello.
Well, yeah, for us, it's annoying. I don't know why they didn't consider Locked On Yankees and Stacey Gotsulias' plans.
Why would you not consider my feelings and my routine? And why do you have to screw this up? Because I really thought they were playing the Rangers tonight. And when I looked at the schedule and realized, oh, wait, they're starting on Tuesday. Sense. Like, what? Anyway,
it made more sense to have them play tonight, and they're getting screwed also by the extra off day. By the way, pitching matchup wise, they're hurting a lot more pitching matchup wise because look at who the Yankees are going to have to face coming up here. Yeah,
so you have Will Warren, who's been doing great his last few starts, against Patrick Corbin, who's picking it up. He's doing better than he did
a lot better
previous seasons. Yeah,
it's very funny. I'm not a politics guy, so I'm not bringing up politics, but there is a funny meme on there if you do find it. Patrick Corbin's ERA during the first Republican presidency was tremendous. Then the Democrat gets voted in and Patrick Corbin is awful and people thought his career was over. And now all of a sudden Patrick Corbin's having a career resurgence and is pitching to a 3.35 ERA. I don't know how it's happening, but Patrick Corbin getting let go by the Washington Nationals to all of a sudden pitching the way he's pitching with Texas is not a good sight for Yankee fans, especially with how this rotation looks. This could be a team that no one wants to play in the postseason. If you face him, DeGrom, and Eovaldi in a playoff series, good luck.
Yeah. Wednesday night, Ryan Yarbrough against the aforementioned Jacob deGrom, who's picking things up this season. I believe he's 4-1. Yeah.
And it's been he started the year off shaky. His velocity really wasn't there. The strikeout numbers weren't there. He's been insane since then. He's been so unbelievably good. I just want to read off his strikeout numbers for you so far, Stacey. Right now, as the season he's projected currently for 172 innings pitched, which is really, really good. He's got 51 innings pitched on the year so far. This is while unbelievably, his first couple starts, he had like 3-2, wasn't striking anybody out right now. He's already over a K per 9. He's at 53 strikeouts already in this year. So, I mean, not a pretty sight for the Yankees, who tend to strike out at a high rate. Having to face Jacob deGrom is not a good sign, especially with who they're playing on Thursday as well.
Right. And then Thursday, the aforementioned 12:35 start. So, you'll be eating lunch when the Yankees start their game. Carlos Rodon against Nathan Eovaldi. Rodon has picked things up. Again, Saturday's start wasn't tremendous, but it was serviceable enough. Not Saturday, Friday. Mm-hmm. And, getting his ERA down to 3.17 after the way he started is really big for Rodon. And like I said a couple of shows ago, I don't cringe when I see Rodon coming up in the rotation now, where I did the past 2 seasons, where you're kind of like, which Rodon are we going to get?
Yeah.
Which feels good.
The last couple starts have been really, really good for him. This is the scary part, though. He's facing Nathan Eovaldi, who the Yankees, since he's been a Yankee, can't hit. They can't hit him since he's been a Yankee. So
it's so annoying.
Yeah,
I can't
and he
stand
throws.
It drives me crazy.
He throws so hard since he didn't throw this hard when he was a Yankee. He got the surgery afterwards, and he's been insane since. So they really have their work cut out for him when it comes to this. The Monday off day. Did it help us? No. But did it help the Yankees? Absolutely not. Because look at who they have to face pitching matchup wise.
Right, because it's better to go into a rotation like this having played a game the night before. Because if you have that off day, sure, you might go to the stadium and work on your swings and stuff, but it's not the same as coming off a game and going into another game.
Well, you also wouldn't see Eovaldi because he wouldn't have the extra day of rest. So you would have saw Corbin on the Tuesday game, and you would have saw deGrom on the Wednesday game, but you would have had who knows on Tuesday's game instead. So yeah, it doesn't help them very much. But it is what it is. Got to play Texas, who is not an easy team. And I think there's a very solid possibility you could end up seeing them at some point later on this year.
So what have we learned today? We've learned that you don't need to be so scared of Juan Soto. You can neutralize him if you need to. He's 1 for 10.
Yeah.
In the Subway Series, Yankees win 2 out of 3 in the first half. Next Subway Series begins July 4th. There's going to be so many firework puns. It.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Ugh.
In Citi Field too. I love the 3-game format, though. They have to just continue with this all.
Yeah, I kind of, as much as I poo-poo the Subway Series, and I know I get in trouble for doing it all the time, I prefer the 3-game set. I prefer the weekend series. And maybe that's why I didn't like it as much, because it was the 2-game midweek series.
The weekend to me, like the big going into a Friday night, even the afternoon Saturday game when the stadium can be packed, and the Sunday night baseball, that's the way it needs to be played. I agree with you. I don't think it's nearly as big of a deal as people make it out to be, but it needs to be played in a primetime spot like that. You can't be playing Yankees Mets on a Wednesday.
Speaking of Sunday night baseball, the Yankees did not embarrass themselves on Sunday night baseball, because it seemed like last season, nearly every time they were on Sunday night baseball, they lost in a horrible way.
It does help, by the way, because I remembered your comments going into it about the broadcast, which it generally is very, very true. It does help a little bit with David Cohn on the broadcast.
Yeah. Because
he brings in a little more the Yankee perspective. And I think he also realizes the anti-Yankee bias that happens on a national basis. So I think he tries to reel it in a little bit on the broadcast. It does help with him on the broadcast.
Yeah. What else did we learn? Pump the brakes on George Lombard Jr. He's not ready yet.
Yeah, I don't want to see him in pinstripes this year.
Yeah, he has the potential to be great. He really does. He has the tools to be a good player for the Yankees, but let him get there. Again, he's turning 20 in 2 weeks. He's not ready yet.
He can't buy a drink anyway. Yeah, he can't drink at the parade anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And the last thing we learned, the schedule makers don't care about my feelings, and I don't like that at all. I don't like that. I mean,
the schedule makers used to be made, by the way, the schedule makers used to be a husband and wife that lived in Arkansas that would make the schedules together for 80 years. They did it together. It was adorable. And Major League Baseball paid them a lot of money to do that. Now it's all done by a computer. So the computer is not a fan of yours, but if it was still the couple doing it, I mean, maybe, you could have became friends with them and they could have, move the Yankees games around to accommodate your schedule a little more, but I'm very sorry they're not accommodating for you.
Judging by how my computer treats me, I'm not surprised that the schedule making computer doesn't like me either. So it's not shocking.
It is
all right. Well, Thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. You get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.